All right, man. Here we go. I'm definitely on the wrong mic. Now we're rolling. Welcome to the Morning Drive, episode 17. It is Thursday, August 20th. End of summer interlude by Drake. Or summer's over, not end of summer. Yeah. It's the Morning Drive presented by Schofield Sports Performance and the Reed Allen Community Fund. I'm your host, Thomas Curtis. Thanks for taking me with you on your morning drive. Is this the last time we do this early in the morning? Probably not, but maybe for a little bit as I move into school on Sunday, and we'll have to adjust to kind of a new schedule here on your favorite program. Today we've got a couple cool topics. Why do you care about billionaires is the title of this episode. Because we'll be talking Steve Ballmer, the Clippers, Pablo Torre, and the reaction to the investigation the NBA did. Sox are back on track. They take 2 of 3 against Arizona. Lost the last one in extra innings. Rafael Devers makes his return to Boston tomorrow for a weekend set with the Giants. We'll talk some AL standings as the Sox are 5.5 up on the second wildcard spot. We got the Schofield Sports stand-up performer and more. I don't really have any news because there's not much news to talk about. Jaden Higgins tore his ACL. Trayvon Diggs is headed to Seattle. Cade Cavalli with 11 strikeouts in his start last night. I don't even know who they played, but nothing huge. The biggest piece of news was the NBA investigated. They did an investigation. Did they do any investigating? I'm doubtful. They investigate Steve Ballmer and the Clippers for circumventing the cap is pretty much what they were doing. There's a paper trail. Listen, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I watched all 15 episodes of the Pablo Torre investigation on this Kawhi scandal, but essentially, the Clippers were offering Kawhi sponsorships from LLCs and corporations that Steve Ballmer owned that were agreed upon during the contract signing back in 2019, where Kawhi took less money to be on the Clippers, or took, the money that worked for the cap, but also took more money under the table, essentially, to be on the Clippers. Which I don't blame Kawhi, because I would need more money to go play in that shithole. It's still illegal. You can't do it. And Steve Ballmer, kind of a slimy guy. He puts on a good front. He's got good PR because he's excited about owning the team. And listen, I don't blame him for. I do blame him. This is illegal. You can't do that. But, he's got good PR because he cares about his team. The flip side of this, not even the flip side of this, but next, the NBA does an investigation. They find no wrongdoing from, this corrupt owner who's trying to circumvent the cap, and essentially say in the future, hey, owners, if you want to sign guys and it takes more than what your cap, allows, make up sponsorships and get these guys more money. Adam Silver threw his hands up in the air here and says, I don't care. The scandal doesn't mean too much to me because, it's a billionaire doing illegal things to benefit himself. Stop me if you've heard this before. Kawhi is just trying to make more money. And again, like I said, if I was Kawhi, I would have stayed in Toronto first off, but if I was Kawhi after leaving Toronto, I'd need more money to go to the Clippers. The problem I have with this whole situation is we've got a public in our country that is now mad at Pablo Torre because the NBA did a fake investigation and found no corruption because they are a corrupt organization. And we have people reacting to Pablo Torre like he's doing something wrong. He's one of the best investigative reporters. He's one of the only investigative reporters, our sports sphere have on this earth today, because journalism has become McAfee'd, as I'd like to call it, Pat McAfee, or Stephen A. Smith. It's this hot take culture of, journalists that aren't doing journalism. They're sitting in front of a camera like I am and just spewing takes. This isn't journalism. This is commentary. And the problem with our society and, you know, the way we do media nowadays is everybody wants to comment, but nobody wants to educate themselves. So I'm doing it now. I listened to a couple episodes of the Pablo Torre podcast, and I have formed an opinion. I'm pretty sure Pablo Torre is right. He's got a paper trail. He has anecdotal evidence. I mean, he has all the evidence in the world that if you'd like to go more into it, I'm going to probably link the Pablo Torre podcast below here, but so many people have not even done what I've done. Listen to one episode. Listen to 30 minutes of the Pablo Torre podcast, but they're still commenting on it. And because they've seen clips of Pablo Torre saying other things that they don't like on other topics, they're using the report from the NBA that we didn't find anything wrong on Steve Ballmer's side, as an opportunity to shit on and disqualify. God, that's terrible. Reed Allen Community Fund hit of the mic here on episode 17. Where was I going? That sucks because I was on a roll. They're using this as a chance to disqualify a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist because he's wrong, which he's not. Pablo Torre is a really good reporter. He's one of the best we have. He did great work on the Riley Gaines story. He's done great work all over the place. On a multitude of stories. And if we're going to disqualify this guy, but we're going to keep tuning in to Pat McAfee, who, by the way, is on Monday Night Football Countdown nowadays, because he's making $65 million a year for ESPN while they're laying off good journalists like Pablo Torre, like Ben Solak. I wouldn't be surprised if Mina Kimes is next, because at least she actually talks about sports. ESPN has become a grift, and honestly, they're no longer to be taken seriously if you're a serious fan of journalism. It's a tough state of affairs. And the way I put it here in the caption is: a corrupt organization investigated itself and found no corruption. And we're going to go after the reporter that actually did the investigation and found real evidence. It's concerning. I feel like we live in an idiocracy. And, the state of where media and journalism are, straight up not good. Straight up not good. That's kind of the rant. I could have done more research, but this is strictly from what I'm seeing when I'm on my timeline, or even I've talked to people in person and they've been like, "Oh yeah, Pablo Torre, what a tool." What are you talking about, man? What a tool. He's got 15 episodes of evidence. He's got real people who were in it discussing what happened. He's got paper trails of, the aspiration, what was it, Tree Foundation, that was designed to look like a tree planting foundation that was paying Kawhi millions of dollars to be a sponsor, but they never planted a single tree. That's literally just a fake organization. If you just look at that, that's a fake organization to pay a player more money to circumvent the cap. If the Clippers won a championship, which likely never going to happen, let's face it. If they did, this is one of the biggest stories in sports, going back to, the Astros in 2017, but all the way back to the White Sox in the 20s. But because the Clippers are terrible and nobody really cares and they're kind of the laughing stock, I suppose it doesn't matter. I think the bigger problem is the fact that people are discounting Pablo Torre as a reporter because, they've seen media turn. They don't even notice it, but they've seen media turn from actual real reporting to soap opera commentary. And that's where we're at. I had a ticker for that and got too into it at first. That's kind of the rant. We're 10 minutes in. I'll move on. more stuff is going to come out on that. I think Torre is going to do a basically response episode with more evidence, and people aren't going to care. It's terrible. Red Sox are back on track. They beat the D-backs twice, and their loss was yesterday in extra innings. Giovanni Moran. I keep saying Giovanni. It's Giovanni Moran. Blows it, walks everybody. It was terrible. They really, really miss Whitlock and Slayton. If you have Whitlock and Slayton, you probably sweep the D-backs and you feel really good. But, he walks both those guys. And the 3-run homer, Weissert gives up. Every time I'm like, Weissert starts to win me back a little bit because he's got a good pitch and, he's your 6th reliever, so oh well. But every time I'm like, I don't hate Greg Weissert. He gives up a 3-run bomb, and I'm like, oh my God, why can't he just be consistent for 4 outings instead of 3? It's 3 outings and a homer. 4 outings and a homer. I'm like I can get by this, but this is a brutal 3-run bomb that gives up the game, essentially. You got to go to extras. You got to use more pitching for a bullpen that's taxed. Those 2 guys were not good. And Moran's past what he's pitched in the major leagues so far, in his career. So, his production might be over. But they really don't have arms until Whitlock and Slayton come back. Adley had a coming out party in this series. He was 4 for 9 with 5 RBI, a home run, and 2 extra base hits. Nick Sogard was fantastic in this series. His first career home run came yesterday, but he also had a big double in that first game. In the first game, Bayo goes 4 2/3 innings. He gives up 1 earned, which is more than what he's done in the past. 3 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Again, when they do this kind of bullpen or Bayo bulk kind of thing, bulk pen, trademark, it tends to work. Gamboa wasn't awesome. He went 1 1/3. 1 2/3. I forget. It was 1.1 or 1.2. They wanted 2 or 3 out of him, but you go to Bayo in the second inning. He's pretty good. We're in these dog days where they're just trying to manage the staff and squeak out wins, which stinks. But they're definitely not at full health. They need Houck to ramp up soon. They're gonna need him. Oviedo sounds like he's still pretty far away. Crochet doesn't. Every time he talks, he doesn't sound optimistic. He's still throwing off flat ground, really not progressing. They're in need of pitching right now. It's the dog days, so is everybody else. But I still can't believe Craig didn't go get, an Evaldi type. I use him as the example. I don't think he was going to be dealt, but Robbie Ray was dealt. Just guys that have proven at the major league level to throw innings. And right now you're depending on Jake Bennett and Peyton Tolley and guys that Moran's an example. Guys that have never thrown this far into a season. They were really good during the stretch when they were, fresh, but now they're not fresh and they're starting to labor a little bit, and you can definitely tell. Duran homers, what the fuck ever. Who cares? He also dropped a ball and probably gave up the 2 runs that lost the game, right? Or 1 run. Maybe he evens it out because it was a solo homer. Is he a net zero? But he also pops out in the 9th when they needed a knock. I'm really done with him. I'm really done. Durbin, still really good. 3 for 4 in that first game. It's an interleague matchup against the D-backs who didn't. Actually, we can get into that. The D-backs didn't impress me whatsoever. Not at all. Brat was terrible. Vaught, I didn't think was awesome. I mean, you give up a homer to Nick Sogard and Jarren Duran. I'm supposed to be impressed. And who was the fool that went? Merrill Kelly. Terrible. They can't really pitch. Their lineup didn't scare me much except Gabby Moreno. He was really freaking good. That grand slam off Ranger was, kind of a backbreaker, even though the Sox take that game in game 2. But they've got this Ketel Marte thing going on, which I'm not really tapped in on. He goes on the restricted list, heads back to Phoenix for an MRI. Like, probably trouble in Phoenix in Arizona, but yeah, they didn't really concern me. I don't think they're going to make the wild card. I think San Diego probably squeaks in. They're not up on their game up on the D-backs right now. And I think they're better than the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, definitely the Marlins. But like, I think the NL wild card is kind of set. It should be Cubs, Phillies, Padres, which is a cool wild card. And that's a fun playoffs. Milwaukee, the Dodgers, Braves, Cubs, Phillies, Padres. It's a really fun NL. I don't know what I just did. I just like moved the tab on accident. That's a fun playoff as opposed to the AL where it's like Tampa Bay is probably good, but like, are they actually a real team? Chicago's not that good. Houston is mid. They're literally a game above 500. The Sox and Yankees are probably the best teams in the AL, and they're the 1 and 2 in the wild card. So there's the Red Sox series. They've got San Francisco coming up, which means Rafael Devers makes his return to Boston. I think they're going to boo him because that's what Boston fans do. But they're going to forget the 215 homers he hit here, the 2018 run when he came up. All the moments. All the moments for Rafi Devers in his 216 games as a Giant, which is insane to say. It's a lot of games. But it's been over a year and a half. Oh, about a year and a half, right? When you add on months and stuff. 3.6 WAR, 46 doubles, 45 homers, 120 RBI as a Giant for Rafi Devers. The Giants are terrible. Straight up awful. 52 and 74 for them. This should be a clean sweep at Fenway. Yeah, like, has he been great since? Been super hot and cold. Do the Sox miss him? No, with Contreras and Durbin, right? They're going to boo him because Fenway Sports Group put on, a hit basically on his way out, made him look like a lazy bum. When this guy owned the Yankees, he was the cornerstone of your team. Fenway Sports Group, for all the shit they talked about Rafael Devers, what was it? A year prior, 2 years prior, they gave him 10 years, 300 mil. Like, you had to have seen the lack of leadership and laziness coming. It was never like he was this highly motivated young guy. He was just super talented and wanted to be the young guy forever. And now he's this, immature 30-year-old that nobody really wants on their team. But he's still productive. I miss him just as like I miss 2021 Devers where he was just this young kid. He was so good. I still have him on my wall, which is I'm just not here enough to take that down or care. And I cut his head off, for these broadcasts. But like I do miss him. If you go back and watch some of these clips of like he owns Cole. He's taking him to the second deck at Yankee Stadium. I was at the game in 2021 at Fenway when he took Cole deep twice. He was just a spark plug in those big games against the Yankees. And like maybe Durbin's really good against the Yanks, maybe Contreras is, but it was cool to have that sigh of relief every time the 2-hole came up and like, yeah, man, Devers is gonna do something. I don't. Let's see. Devers versus Yankees. 269, 123 hits, 31 bombs, 78 RBI, and 79 runs scored. Like, look at these game logs. These are from least recent to most. 1 for 4, 2 for 4, 1 for 3, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 2, 1 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 4. Couple of empty games. 2 for 4, 1 for 4. 5 for 5 on 6/30/2018. 5 for 5. That's so sick. 2 for 5. A lot of empty games here. And that stops because I'm not paying for StatMuse Premium. But like this guy on the Yankees, sucks to see that he's gone, and they're gonna boo him. If we can get into the Contreras thing a little bit. Wilson Contreras was booed yesterday because he didn't hustle out a ground ball in the 9th or extra innings. Again, with this shit, why do we keep doing this? Why are we booing our best player? He's got 5 injuries. He's got a foot injury, a hamstring injury, a concussion, and we're booing this guy because he's not making an out look closer. He's your best player. I know we want to see hustle. I do. I get it. But it's not like he's not trying. He's just not trying to get hurt. He's just not trying. Like, could you imagine how mad we'd be if he was out of the lineup for 2 weeks because he strained his hamstring trying to leg that out and he was still out? I'd be infuriated. We'd probably drop out of the wild card if Wilson Contreras missed 2 weeks. The people that are upset are not the 162ers. The guys that understand, like, this is a really long season and guys are banged up and it's the dog days and it's the 3rd game in a stretch of like 17 games in 17 days against the Diamondbacks in extra innings. Like, everything about that scenario makes it fine for him to just jog and take a load off for a second, and we got people mad and booing at him. It's unbelievable. We're just trying to get under his skin. It's like we're the away team. Embarrassed. You should be embarrassed if you're booing Wilson Contreras. He even said it. Smart fans get it. Smart fan. Wilson Contreras called me a smart fan. Yeah, I was mad about that. We can talk some standings here. Oh, Roman Anthony goes 2 for 2 with a hit and an RBI. With a home run and a single. I just hit an RBI. Home run and a single, 2 walks in his first game in Portland. He's in the lineup today. I will be there. Let's go, Roman. I'm pumped. So that's exciting. Into the standings discussion. I think we went through this a little bit more. What I want to talk about is this 3rd wild card. Twins, Rangers, Blue Jays, Guardians, Orioles, Tigers. I want to call the Mariners out of it because they're so bad. Just gave up 22 runs to the Brewers. Like, I think the cutoff is probably the Tigers. Out of the teams, like these teams that I'm most worried about, it's the 2 AL East teams, the Blue Jays and Orioles. Not that it matters. Like, it's Sox, Yanks at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, probably. But for, like, a team that might get hot and run the table because they're playing Houston. Houston or Texas, I suppose. It's those 2 AL East teams. The Sox are really good against the Guardians. Because they're basically an AL Central team. They would beat the Tigers handily. They kill the Mariners. I'm not really worried about the Rangers or the Astros or even the Twins. Like, the Twins have been playing good ball. They're 5-5 in their last 10. But yeah, like, the AL East teams scare me, man. The Orioles gave us a good run for our money. They ended the big streak, and then we just lost the series to the Jays. The Jays are playing good ball. They've got pitchers. They kind of geared up for next year, the year after, at the deadline, but like still have a lot of talent. So the AL East teams are the ones I'm worried about. Yeah, we're gonna see how this 3rd wild card plays out. It's kind of cool that we're not in that race. That we're like trying to win enough games to maybe catch the Yanks. I like being in this second wild card. You got the Giants here. You sweep them. Make up some ground here. Let's make up some ground this weekend at Fenway, where they've been really good recently. Since about a week before the break, they really turned on at home. I'm enjoying the extra base hits at Fenway, and I think they're going to keep it going. Now it's time for the Schofield Sports Performance Standout Performer. Schofield Sports Performance, everything you need to make it to the next level. Cody Belker made it to the next level. Jacob Humphrey, I believe, Schofield athlete from Bonnie Eagle. I want to say, maybe not. Also made it to the next level. Like, we got guys from Schofield all over the map making it to the next level. This guy took it to the next level. Mickey Gasper, 4 for 10, 7 RBI, 3 home runs after being called up as Masataka Yoshida's replacement. I was skeptical. I thought Gasper looked really bad at the end of his first stint. What was that, back in June? July? No, June, I want to say. 4 for 10, 3 home runs is undisputable. Like, this guy had a really good week. I think he gives them a lot of value from the left side, and when he's not catching, when he's not tired, maybe he's a big league bat. Mickey Gasper's your Schofield Sports Performance standout performer from this last week against the Diamondbacks. And as always, thank you to the Reed Island Community Fund for making this presentation possible. They've got the 2026 golf ball drop Friday, October 16th at the Gorham Rams homecoming football game. That's at halftime. You pay for a ball. They put them in a bag on top of the fire ladder and drop them. Whoever gets closest to the hole gets $1,000. Pretty good deal. Pretty good odds. It's 1 in 1,000. 2026 Casino Night is Saturday, November 14th at Junction Bowl, sponsored by the Shaw Brothers Family Foundation. Chance to win some money surrounded by your friends in the town of Gorham at Junction Bowl, which is always a great venue. So thanks to the Reed Island Community Fund for presenting this show. That was episode 16, 17. God, I hope I didn't mess that up. Episode 16. Why do you care about Billionaires? Stop. They don't care about you. Thursday, August 20th. I'm your host, Thomas Curtis. We will be back next week sometime. I move into school Sunday, so got to settle in there. But there's going to be some Sox talk because we got 35 games to go. Go Sox here as they welcome the Giants this weekend for a 3-game set. Talk to you next time.